All right, here we go. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. All right, YouTube, here we go. And live. And hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We are back. Not only back here because we're here every Monday, but we're actually back in the home studio today, hanging out with all of you guys. And we're here to talk about Royal Caribbean for the next hour. Thank you for joining us here. Happy Monday, everybody. Glad to have you here. And we're going to start off today. We're going to get a lot of questions. Questions about dining and shore excursions and Wi-Fi. Oh, my. But the most important question is how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let us count down together. I am so excited, ladies and gentlemen. 9 more days until Star of the Seas, doing single-digit dance. Can't wait. Actually, yeah, no, that's 9 days. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I cannot wait. Let the Star of the Seas hype train begin now. All right. We had some amazing super chats before the broadcast began. Andrew of the Seas, thank you for the super chat. Andrew wrote, what was going through your mind when you did the first year live podcast listeners calling in? You had Siri talking as a caller. What would it take for you to bring back this one? Actually, it was a lot of fun. I love doing the call-in. So Andrew's referring to like years ago. We did actually, instead of like you guys typing questions, we actually did a call-in feature. But what we actually found, Andrew, is most people didn't want to be on. They didn't want to actually call. It was hard to get callers. Most people just wanted to hear other callers. I don't know if that changed or not, but I'd love to bring that back. I think it's a fun idea. Captain Bob Dickens, thank you for the super chat before the broadcast began. Captain Bob says, is it a good deal to maybe wait to get on the ship to purchase a massage package versus buying early? 31 days to Icon, 39 to Utopia, 65 to Vegas, and 120 to Alert. For the spa, I would say, so it's funny because you all know, I always tell you guys, pre-book everything. Pre-book shore excursions, pre-book Wi-Fi, pre-book the drink package. But the spa is pretty much hit or miss. Pricing-wise, it's not a huge difference. Occasionally, there can be a pretty good deal on the spa. The thing is, it's not apples to apples. What I mean by that is when you book the spa before the cruise, it's like a 60-minute sweetest massage. Cool. When you're on board the ship, Captain Bob, they're not going to offer you a straight discount like that. What they'll offer you is like a discount on like, one day it might be like 30 minutes of this, 30 minutes of this, 30 minutes of that. Another one might be if you book two spa treatments, you get a third cheap or something like that. Like they mix it up a little bit. So I would say the number one reason to pre-book a spa appointment is to get a good time, like a day and a time that works for you, rather than it actually mattering so much about the actual discount, because it mostly is a wash in that case. Enrique Hernandez, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, I just switched from Utopia to Wonder. Will Wonder the Seas start doing 3 and 4 night cruises next month? Yes, September. I think it's September, actually. It's in August. That's right. It's coming up quickly. Do you know if they'll start offering the same theme parties as Utopia? I don't know that for a fact, Enrique. Some of the special events and activities that Utopia has, I'm not sure if Wonder will get them, or they'll just like pare down, if you will, the activities from the 7-night into a 3-night, condense it. That's a really good question, actually. But I don't know the answer. I don't know. Lots of countdowns in the chat. Michelle Polanski, hello. Bill Schaub, hello. Cruising Chris M, what's going on? Greg P in the house. Slew Dog is here as well. Jack Reynolds, Jack, thanks for the super chat. Just 32 days till 18 cruises out of Florida. I'm going to get Diamond on my 3rd day on the 3rd cruise. Can I get benefits on it? You cannot. So you got to wait for your next sailing. When you turn the status within the sailing, you don't get it that sailing. It applies to the next sailing you have after that, Jack. So hope that makes sense. My neighbor Kenny is here. Hello, Kenny. And shout out to Erica and Samantha and Alexa. Karen, just booked your first ever cruise on Star of the Seas. I assume he means like your first cruise ever, and it just happens to be on Star of the Seas, which, by the way, is one of the things I recommend for new cruisers. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that. Justin Oken from MEI Travel is here. Hello, Justin. How are you, my friend? Glad to have you here. Todd Weichman is here. Pascal with MEI Travel is here as well. The Teresa McChain is here. What happened to my internet? Bro. I don't know. Okay, now the internet's working. I don't know what happened there. Teresa from MEI Travel. Hello, welcome. I suspect it's my computer. It's probably running like 800 updates because my computer's been off for, 5 weeks or so. Lots of great countdowns. All right, guys, let's answer your cruise questions. What's on your mind? Let's talk Royal Caribbean. Lots happening. Star of the Seas coming up very, very soon. So we're here to answer your cruise questions in the next 55 minutes before my public sub arrives and I get to actually eat dinner tonight. Andy and Cheryl, hello, welcome. We got a question about Star of the Seas. CJ, going on Star of the Seas soon. How are the showcase cruises? So the showcase cruises are regular cruises. They're just shorter. Obviously, I've not been on. No one's been on Star yet of the public. It'll be starting up. The first one's August 16th, but should be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of energy on those sailings. And I'm actually on the first two of those, the 16th and the 20th. I know I get that question a lot about which Star of the Sea sailings I'll be on. I'll be on those, and hopefully it'll be really. I think it'll be a lot of fun because anytime there's a new ship, man, there's so much excitement and interest, and a lot of people are on there. There's Royal Caribbean executives. You've got people here in the chat. You've got Craig Hart. I mean, there's a lot of people on there. It's really, really neat. Star of the Seas is very identical to Icon. Yeah, I mean, to some extent, there are some major differences, but it's not like, and to be fair, real rarely, within the ship class, they don't really, they do more than a lot of other lines. Like, if you want to say identical, look at what Virgin Voyages does with their ships. Those are literally copy and paste. Royal, always with its new ships, they try to tweak and enhance within the class, and again, if you look at the Oasis class, whether you're going from, Symphony to Wonder to Utopia, occasionally you get some sizable changes, but most of them are more tweaks and enhancements and swapping this for that kind of thing, which is pretty typical. Let's see. Hey, Felix is here. Hello, Felix. Amanda Hackett. Amanda, thanks for the super chat. Best places to eat, grab drinks in San Juan. A couple places come to mind. Raíces is my go-to restaurant recommendation. Raices. That is the place I've been going there for years. It's a little touristy, but you know what? It's much better than some other places you can go to. And you can get Puerto Rican food as well as gringo food there, which is great for my kids, but I want to get mofongo. That's a pretty good spot. Barachina is another place I recommend. Barachina is where they invented the pina colada. That's a tourist trap, and I don't know that you need to have a pina colada there. You can just to be able to say you had it where they invented it. But I think the restaurant's not bad, and there's a good ambiance over there. So, yeah. Ken Unser is here. Hello, Ken. How are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Cruising Chris M., thank you for the super chat. Love Royal Caribbean and love all your information. Thank you, Matt. 318 days to vision, 601 to alert. Nice. Fantastic. Mackle wants to know, Super Mario was on our recent cruise. He had a little desk on the pool deck labeled as his office. What's his deal? How does he get to cruise so much? Is he a super wealthy guy? It's a great question. We actually have an article we've done here on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com all about Super Mario if you want to read about it. Basically, the man has cruised the most of anybody within Royal Caribbean. And if you cruise, it's like, what is he up to, 10,000 points? If you cruise that much, you're going to get some special treatment. And that's essentially what that is. He's well off, but he does, I believe, day trading, and he does it from the ship. Hey, Carter, saw you on Fox Business. Yeah, actually, that was recorded last year. It's strange that, I'm not complaining, but it's strange that, so last year, Fox Business brought me on to talk about Icon of the Seas. Cool. Then, of course, last week with the incident with the crew member going overboard, for some reason, they picked that video again because it was about Icon. I don't know, but yeah, a bunch of people messaged me, and so they saw me over the weekend. I was like, oh, well, I wish it was under better circumstances or better context, but it's nice to be seen. Hey, CJ, thank you for the super chat. Going on Star of the Seas on Showcase. Any difference between a normal cruise and a Showcase cruise? No, it's just shorter. That's all. Basically, the Showcase cruise, CJ, is marketing. It is originally the inaugural is the 31st of August, but they wanted to add more sailing. So they're not going to call it an inaugural. They're going to call it a Showcase sailing. So that way, the people on the inaugural maiden voyage aren't as upset that somebody went on there before them. It's just marketing. That's all. So other than being shorter, there you go. We have some more super chats in the house. Let me catch up with the super chats real quick. Christopher Bayona. Chris, Thank you, my friend, for the super chats. I heard you must remove your WoW ban every time you order a drink. Is that true? Could I simply give them my room number instead? Prefer phone free? Yeah, generally speaking, the issue is, Chris, they don't really have mobile readers. When Royal Caribbean came up with the WoW bans back in 2014, they had mobile readers. So literally you go like this and they would scan it and go boop. But these days they don't have that. So yeah, they ask you to take it off. I mean, you prefer to be phone free. It's not a big deal. You just, take it off. Here you go. Okay, put it back on. I don't think it's a big deal. But as your other question, could I simply give them my room number? Depends on the server. Some servers will do that. Others require the actual seat pass. Kind of, depends on the person. Lot Floating Invention. What's going on, man? What's up, Matt? Only 34 more days till Star. How fast will you be pushing that ship tour out? Dude, we are going to be, it's going to be a gargantuan effort, but we're going to be pushing out as fast as humanly possible. Jenna is going to be on the 16th sailing. She is going to, nobody works harder than Jenna, who's our YouTube editor, and she is going to lift heaven and earth in order to get that ship tour out for you guys. So maybe she'll actually allow me. I mean, it's not that she'll allow me, but she has a certain way of doing it. And she does a great job. But when I'm on board, maybe she might take the help, as even my very poor video skills. You never know. But yeah, we're excited for that. There's nothing like a new ship, man. I mean, it's incredible. We have some more super chats coming in. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the generosity tonight. Lee Ray, where is your message? I hope I said your name correctly. Lee Ray. We have a lot of super chats. I'm really far behind. I don't see a message from you, Lee Ray, but thank you for your generosity. Appreciate it. Thank you. Monique, we're taking our toddler, age 3, on his first cruise. Started this season November. What are the must-do things we should do on embarkation day? Monique, I would definitely get to know, after you do your muster drill, I would get to know Surfside. I mean, your toddler is the perfect age for Surfside, which is the kids' area of the ship. Spend a lot of time over there. Pack your bathing suit and his bathing suit in your carry-on so that you can put it on immediately. You're going to love that place. Hey, Yoink, will you do any Royal Caribbean cruise in Asia one day? It's my bucket list. I mean, I'd love to. It's just the flight, man. When I flew back from Norway to the U.S., I did a connecting flight. There's a total of 12 hours of flying, 15 hours of travel. And that was I couldn't even handle that. I reached my limit there, Yoink, so probably not. Susan Westfall. Thank you for the super chat, Susan. Man, isn't it crazy we were in Europe last month? Isn't that crazy? 69 days till the group cruise. We're doing our first back-to-back on the second leg. Unfortunately, a different cabin. How and when does the packing move into the cabin work? Easy, Susan. Here's what you're going to do. Trust me on this one. What you want to do is on cruise number 1, on day... with like 2 or 3 days left of the cruise. Not the last day, but like 2 or 3 days left of the cruise. What you want to do is find your cabin attendant and say, thank you so much for all the help. This has been a great cruise. We've loved this. And then you give them some money, a little tip. Their tip. You give them the money, right? And you say, thank you so much for everything. This has been an amazing cruise. By the way, do this after you give them the money. By the way, we're staying on for the next sailing, but we're switching cabins. How does that work? How should we get our luggage over there? And your cabin attendant will either tell you probably one of two things. One, Miss Susan, leave everything on the bed and I'll move it for you. Or leave everything on the hangers and I'll move it. That usually works quite well. So give that a try. Jonathan, thank you for the thank you for being a club member for 5 months. 76 days, so brilliant out of Boston. Where's the best place to stay in Boston the night before? They're probably by the waterfront area, or even at the airport, Jonathan, because you're not going to walk to the cruise port from any hotel. So it depends on what you're trying to do. The good thing about Boston is it's pretty easy to get around, at least by taxi. When I was there 2 years ago, I just did Lyft everywhere and it was really easy. But if you stay in Boston, like in the North End or something, that's great. You're more convenient there to do things. It depends if you're seeing things in Boston or you're simply just going on a cruise. If you're simply going on a cruise by the port area, the Marina, Massport, that area, but we're even staying in the airport is not bad. But otherwise, staying in the North End is probably the play there. Heavens to Betsy. Every time when I read your name, I'm not sure if it really is meant to do this. I think of what's that Hanna-Barbera character? Heavens to Murgatroyd. I forget which one that was. Anyway, Heavens to Betsy. 21 days till Voyager leaving out of Rome. Wondering, did you have to get the new European visa for your recent trip to Europe? No, the European visa isn't not in place yet. I did have to get the new visa for the UK, but the one for Europe got kicked down the road rather. That wasn't in play. They keep threatening to do it, but they actually do it. Mark, if we don't like seafood or Japanese food, should we still try Izumi with limited dining and brilliance? Yeah, my wife doesn't like sushi, but you can order. There is food on the menu that is not sushi that I think non-sushi people would enjoy. My wife does as well. The chicken karaage appetizer, either the yaki udon noodles or the chicken teriyaki bowl are fantastic. Siraj, thank you for the super chat. We're going on Sorry the Seas for Thanksgiving. I will see you on board that ship. Will it be very busy? Yes, it'll be. I mean, it'll be sold out, Siraj. Every Royal Caribbean cruise ship is busy. The good thing, though, is while I'm saying we'll be very busy, it'll be sold out. But on Icon of the Seas, crowd management is fantastic. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by how uncrowded it feels. Will there be any special events? The only special event there will be on Thanksgiving Day. There will be a special menu in the main dining room. Brooke Cordova. Wait, the internet. Any minute now. Gotta love when the internet's just not working. Hello? Brooke? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Hey, Brooke, thanks for the super chat. 41 days till my cruise on Harmony. I've been hearing a lot about the whole measles shot required in Honduras. Does this pertain to cruisers? My understanding, so they rolled it out, and then, I guess it doesn't really apply. I'm not entirely sure. I'll be honest with you, Brooke, because the Honduras government put it out there, but then almost immediately there was a lot of confusion whether it actually applies. I've not heard of anybody having to get it, but I've not actually gone there myself. So I'm going to give you a solid I don't know, but I've not heard much about it, which leads me to believe anecdotally that maybe it's not, but I'm not sure. John Grigorovich, thank you for the super chat, John. Finally going on Icon in November. Thanks to Fox and MEI Travel for taking care of us. Recommend MEI. MEI is fantastic. Of course, our sponsor, but that's awesome. You're going to love Icon of the Seas. Danette checking in from Fort Lauderdale. Josh Albertson. Josh, thanks for the super chat, man. Can you log into the earnings call tomorrow and ask them when they expect this every class cost will be reflected on their books? First of all, it's not a Q&A. Number two, I'm not a Wall Street analyst, so I can't call in. Number three, doesn't work that way. You can't. When they're ready to announce it, Josh, they will announce it. So remember, the earnings tomorrow is for Wall Street, and it's about it's about shareholders. The Discovery class is very much too much in the weeds. It's not that they don't care, but when they're ready to announce it, they'll be ready to announce it. So there is no actual means of asking them, nor would they answer your question even if you could answer it. When they're ready to announce it, they'll announce it, kind of thing. And we've seen that with every other project they've ever done. Like with the reveal back in May with Perfect Day Mexico and the beach clubs, when they're ready to announce it, they'll announce it, kind of thing. They will never, Josh, they will never say, oh, we're going to announce it on this date. They don't do that. It's not their style. Let's see here. Russ Crawford coming in with the super chat. How are you, Russ? Russ, I see your. Oh, there it is. Hello, my friend. We're doing Western Caribbean on Harmony in October. Now, any recommendations on getting to Galveston? Uber. When I went there last time, Russ, I did Lyft, but Lyft or Uber, easy. Costa Maya is calling your name, brother. If you can convince, or rather, let's be honest, if Denise can convince my wife to let me go, sure. But I'm already on thin ice because I did spend a couple of weeks by myself in Europe this summer, so granted, she does like you guys, so I don't know, but you can have Denise run it up the flagpole, but I doubt I'm getting anywhere with that. Debbie, thank you for the super chat. Does Royal Caribbean offer Black Friday special and excursions? Let me answer your question this way, Debbie. Yes, Royal Caribbean does offer Black Friday sales, and they do tend to sometimes apply to excursions. But will that sale actually save you money? Unknown. When Royal Caribbean does any sale, including Black Friday, they don't do an across the board, okay, whatever price you guys saw before, we're cutting that price, this many dollars, this percentage. They don't do it that way. What they do instead, Debbie, is it's very selective based on the algorithm of whatever it is. So the Black Friday sale may or may not, there will be a sale, but the sale may or may not actually save you money. So this is why I often tell people, if you have an excursion you'd like to do, book it now, lock it in. And if there is a better deal on Black Friday, cancel and rebook. Really easy. Jeffrey Hall, thank you for the super chat. I know there are 2 designated dinner times, but I also heard that there's now a 3rd. Yes, this was added last year, Jeff. So yes, it's true. I don't see it as an option. Usually when it could be sold out because it's a very popular time, but they added a 3rd time last year. They started rolling it out slowly across the fleet, but I believe it's across the fleet now at this point. Live Floating Adventures. Thank you for the super chat. I have my fiance watching your live for the very first time. What's better for honeymoon cruise? Star in the Caribbean or balcony in the Greek Isles? Ooh, boy. Woo, Star Class in the Caribbean. I pick Star Class. Listen, it's your honeymoon. Star Class is utterly amazing. The level of service, the way that you'll be treated is exactly what I think you're looking for in your honeymoon. Not to mention, how do I say this with a PG version? Because Samantha's watching this. If you're in the Caribbean and you're in Star Class, there'll be more of an impetus for you to stay in your cabin and enjoy your cabin. So let's just leave it at that. So yeah, I would pick that one. Greek Isles are fantastic, and that would be an amazing kind of excursion out there. But yeah, cruise always must hurt to be back home. It is nice being. Listen, number one, I love doing the lives here in the home studio, no doubt about it. I mean, it's 1,000% humidity outside and at 500 degrees, which I don't love, but it's always nice being home. So yeah. Let's see here. Enrique, thank you for the super chat, man. That's like your 2nd or 3rd today. Do you know if there'll be much difference between Hideaway Beach at Perfect Day CocoCay versus? Oh, okay. So I'm reading the question here. Do you know if there'll be much difference between Hideaway Beach at Perfect Day with the deluxe drink package versus Party Cove at the new Royal Beach Club on Paradise Island? Do you think it's worth paying for both? I do think it's worth. So I haven't been for. Hold on a second. I can't tell you if it's worth paying for both. I haven't been to. No one's been to the new beach club yet. So to be fair, I haven't been there yet. There's a couple differences. Number one, with the beach club in Nassau, Party Cove is not adults only. Hideaway Beach is adults only. Will there be a lot of kids in Party Cove? I don't think so. I think it will lean more adult in the same way that I think Oasis Lagoon did before Hideaway Beach opened. That's one big distinction right there. As to, is it worth it paying for both? Now, I've not been to the beach club. It's not open yet, so it's not fair for me to give you a full review. I would simply tell you this, that Perfect Day is one day. Nassau is another day. And for a lot of cruisers, they want to have fun on both days. And it's not that, I had fun on CocoCay, thus I'm not going to go spend money on Nassau. I think people just book excursions on either day. So I would think it could be. Let's put it that way. Oh, was it Snagglepuss? That was that Snagglepuss also was like exit the stage left or stage right. Forgot about that. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Man, I loved those. When I was a kid, if we can have a moment here, Hanna-Barbera cartoons were the bee's knees, man. Looney Tunes, Hanna-Barbera. I mean, I grew up on Disney, but it was hard. This is pre-Disney Channel, or back then Disney Channel was a pay channel. Anyway, like Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, that was Saturday morning, man. I love that stuff. Chris Stell, thank you for the super chat. 9 chats until the Oasis group cruise. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Christopher Biona. If I want to go straight to the pool, can I get a WOW band before receiving my SeaPass card and debarcation? Yes. You can go to guest services and purchase one immediately. Enrique, what do you think of Wonderland Restaurant? What do you think of the experience? Is it worth it? I think it's absolutely worth trying. I think Wonderland is definitely a must try at least once. I remember I took my parents there. They had never been. I've been like 100 times. They had never been. And I thought they were going to hate it, but they loved it. So I think it's absolutely worth it. Scott Stegger. Scott, thanks for the super chat, man. I'll be doing a 3-night repositioning to Panama in October. Will it have the amenity shows as a round trip cruise? I don't know what ship you're on. There will be shows and activities, but when you're doing a shorter sailing on a ship that usually does longer sailings, they try their best to fit as much as they can in, but there will still be like things happening on there. So yeah, absolutely. Let me get a drink of water. Mark McChain, cheers. Hey, Tony Diaz is here. Hello, Tony. How are you, my friend? Let's see here. According to Smokey Bandit, and I usually trust Smokey Bandit, Honduras scrapped the idea of any kind of tourist measles test check. Yeah, it seemed like it was DOA when it kind of came out there. Yoink, thanks for the super chat, man. Can't wait for your next challenge on Star of the Seas. You guys have any good ideas? Like, I mean, legit. Like, I'm not doing the flow rider, so you can get that out of your system. But I'd love some ideas. I don't think me jumping in the pool again is that exciting. But would love to. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of MEI travel folks out there. So, Skyfrog, please forgive me going on Margaritaville at sea tomorrow. Actually, you know what's funny? Well, not funny, but interesting, amusing. Our staff have been on Margaritaville. If you're going on Islander, they've done a great job with that ship. Now, I've not been on it, but I've heard really good things. I know it's a really cheap cruise line, but for what it is and the value, it's hard to beat. Skyfrog, you know what? I trust you because you've been here a while. Please let me know your honest thoughts when you get back. I'd love to hear that. Cruiseaholics, thank you for the super chat. Do you have Royal Caribbean stock? I don't. Are there perks for having it? Yes. If you own at least 100 shares, then you can get onboard credit. I know Craig Hart, who's in the chat, swears by it. But I would argue, number one, you should buy any stock you buy. You should purchase because you think it's a good long-term investment. You shouldn't buy it for onboard credit because you can already see what the price is per share times 100. It's not cheap. But if you do own at least 100 shares, you do get free onboard credit. You have to apply for it every single sailing. Some extra paperwork to do, but it's sort of, I hesitate to say it's free money because it's not. You paid for the shares, and there's the risk factor involved, but yeah. SL checking in from the UK, and you're in very, very early morning, late night, however you want to look at it. Glad to have you here. Doug Rosenthal, thank you for the super chat, man. 270 days till Utopia, my first ever cruise. Think about getting in early to visit Kennedy Space Center. How can I get to Canaveral without renting a car? Lyft or Uber. It's really easy. It's all over the place. It's what I would recommend. So pick one. You'll have no problem at all. Hank, thinking about going out of Southampton next summer, but flying into London early for a few days, which is exactly what I just did. What is your recommendation to get to the port? We did a car service. We did BlackBerry car service. I'm not sure my neighbor Kenny liked it that much for a different reason, completely unrelated reason. Don't worry about it. That was just him. But I think it was great. Service was great. There is a train. There's three primary ways people get there, I would say. Probably more. Train, car service, or a bus. They all have their pros and cons. The train is great because there's no traffic. The problem with the train, I've done the train twice, is there's literally no space for your luggage, to store your luggage. And some people, I don't know what they do with their luggage when they get there when there's no space. So if you're like by yourself or you have like 2 bags, it's not bad, but family of 4, wouldn't recommend it. Car service is easy, or a taxi for that matter, but it's the most expensive option because it's private. And of course, you're subject to traffic. The bus, National Express, is cheaper than a car service, probably around the same price as the train, give or take, but you're subject to traffic. But it kind of depends on your budget, how many people. If you have a family, I would do the car service. If it's 1 or 2 people, the train or the bus is fine. Let's see here. Slew Dog has been a club member for 6 months. Thank you, Slew Dog. Matt, when we went on board, are we able to see each main dining room menu in advance? Yes, via the Royal Caribbean app. What's interesting, Slew Dog, is in the weeks leading up to the cruise, the menus are there, but they're often incorrect. And then like a day or 2 before the sailing, it finally fixes itself. But when you're on board the ship, it's usually accurate, so you can pull it up in the Royal Caribbean app. We have a few specialty lunches booked, and we want to schedule around the main dining room menus. Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. You can do that in the app, and you're good. Also been loving all your podcasts. Thank you. The podcast has been a labor of love. We've tried to change the direction over the last couple of episodes, 10 or so, however it's been. and hopefully you'll enjoy them. And we're going to have some really fun ones coming up here with Star of the Seas, and some of the new changes, and we'll have some more guests on board now that I'm not traveling. I'd love to bring some more guests back on there and share different experiences, different perspectives. Gina, going on our first cruise at the end of August on Quantum to Alaska. How long does it take to get luggage on debarkation day? We have a noon flight in Seattle. You should be fine, Gina. Here's what I would recommend you do. Number one, when you're on the ship, tell them you're going to get asked in the Royal Caribbean app your flight information, but ask for the earliest tag you can get. They may assign that to you anyway, but if they get a different number, I would go to guest services and say, hey, we have kind of an early flight. Can we just get an earlier tag? And they probably won't mind with that. And just hustle off the ship, Gina. If you're off the ship by 7:30, you're going to be at the airport by, 9 o'clock at the latest. And that'll still give you 3 hours, which is way more than enough time. So yeah, you should be plenty fine. I would just say, basically, Gina, hustle off the ship. Do not wait till like 8:30 to get off the ship or 9 o'clock. That's all. Terry, thank you for the super chat. Is a U.S. passport needed for Bermuda cruise? Depends. I mean, you can definitely, and I would recommend you use a passport. But Terry, if you are a U.S. citizen and your cruise begins and ends in the same U.S. port, so it goes out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey, comes back to Cape Liberty, and you're a U.S. citizen, you can sail with a driver's license or state-issued ID and your original birth certificate. But Terry, I would 1,000% recommend you get your passport anyway. It's an investment in your travel future. It's safer than those documents I mentioned. It's easier and it's faster. So yeah. That man Harold, video idea. I think it'd be really cool if you made a video giving out tips for sailing on all the different ship classes. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna write it down because I don't know if I remember if I did that a long time ago, but if it's been a long time ago, then I probably should do it again. Let me write that down though. Tips for sailing on all the different ship classes. There you go. Thank you. I love those ideas. You guys are good with the ideas, man. Jack Reynolds. Jack, thanks for the super chat, man. Seems like Royal Caribbean's been pushing a lot more hurricane season casino offers. Yeah, because you know why? Because less people want to book cruises during hurricane season. That's probably why. I got a ton booked. 18. Holy smokes. Low bookings cause this, you think? Yeah, absolutely. So hurricane season is the off season in the Caribbean, and there's less people who are willing or able. Even if you take hurricanes out of the equation, Jack, the other thing to remember is hurricane season, September, October especially, is when school is back in session. And a lot of families don't have the opportunity or the means to leave and take their kids out of school or whatnot. So that's also a major factor, plus the hurricanes. So yeah, your ship will be sold out. Fear not. Lori, will the construction of Perfect Day Mexico affect any excursions to Costa Maya? No, the port is still going to be open. The biggest difference will be, Lori, obviously, at some point, they're going to demolish all of those buildings within the port area. But for your actual shore excursions outside, no, that will not change. Debbie Jax, thanks for the super chat. 45 days to freedom of the seas. Does boarding time still mean anything? Or can we show up early, got 11 a.m.? I will say this. Because there is a 1% chance that boarding times somebody might actually enforce them, I'll say, yes, they still matter. But I don't, in my experience, Debbie, for what it's worth, I don't remember the last time I've seen anybody actually enforce the boarding times in the last 12 to 24 months. I'm not saying they don't, and I think it would still be wrong of me, Debbie, to tell you can completely disregard them, because there may still be somebody who enforces them. But for what it's worth, in my experience, I cannot recall the last time within the last year, and I cruise, as you all know, many times. I cannot recall over the last year when somebody at the terminal actually asked and or enforced the check-in time. Like say, oh no, sir, you have noon, you must wait over here. I'm not saying they don't, so don't. I'm not giving you the pass. I'm just simply saying my own experience for what it's worth. Jeffrey Hall. Jeff, thanks for the super chat. Oh, is this the same question from somebody else? Debbie and you both had the same question. Again, I can't promise you, Jeff, kind of piggybacking on Debbie's question. Maybe The answer is maybe. Beyond that, you can't, like, this is what I would hate. If you show up there and be like, well, Matt told me I could show up here. That means absolutely nothing. So, yeah. Please stand clear of the dad. I'm thinking I'm getting the only dining package. I'm able to get both Johnny Rockets and Playmakers in the same day and get the $15 credit each. Yes. Yes to everything you just asked me. Let's see here. Oh, Fox is here for MEI Travel. Hello, Fox. How are you, my friend? Next question. I'll do the Olympus if that's the suggestion for the. That's not that exciting, I think. Definitely 100% not doing the Flow Rider. Any info on Labadee? So right now, what's going on with Labadee is nothing. So as you all know, Labadee's canceled through like early August, but we've not heard anything beyond that. And this is exactly what happened last year. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen this year, but last year when Labadee was canceled, when they actually started resuming sailings, they just did it. They never said in advance, hey, we're going to go back to Labadee or these sailings are going to start. They just never communicated until one day, I think it was Adventure of the Seas, showed up there. So as we approach August, and there's been so far, could change, but so far we haven't seen any more cancellations. It looks like maybe they'll resume visits there, but I have not heard anything one way or another. They're very cagey about conveying that because I feel like I want to say it's easier to not say anything, but I feel like there's less disappointment if they just leave it as is. And if they cancel it rather than saying, hey, we're going to come back. We're going to start visiting again. Like, oh, just kidding. We're not. That kind of thing. Let's see here. Where are we on this? Does Royal Caribbean offer a discount for veterans? They do. It's depends on the sailing and depends on the time of year, but you have to check with when you book a cruise in general, one of the questions you're asked, and the travel agent will do this for you, is, are you a veteran, active or retired? And they can see if there's any special rates there. Actually, that one would be kind of cool, Tony. The only thing with the Crown's Edge is I can't do it like on the spot. Like jumping in the pool. I'd be like, all right, guys, we're going to jump in the pool. It would have to be after the fact, but yeah, I've never done the Crown's Edge, so maybe. I forgot that's a thing, Tony. Thanks for adding that level of anxiety for me. M. Cole, thank you for the super chat. Trying FixBus, $11 London downtown to Southampton. Those are, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I believe FixBus is like those like ultra cheap buses, like ultra cheap fares. Listen, it's going to get you there probably. Might not be the fastest or most comfortable or most air conditioned option, but you'll probably get there. I just personally, it's a little too, I don't say lowbrow for me, but too, I don't know. I prefer a higher level of service. I'm willing to pay for it, quite frankly. Ronnie Bickers Jr. Ronnie, thank you for the super chat. 124 days of grandeur. I've heard of Western and Eastern Caribbean cruises. Do they have Southern Caribbean cruises? Yes. Cruises out of San Juan, Puerto Rico are almost always Southern Caribbean. They go to places like Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, St. Kitts, Antigua, places like that. What is the southernmost port Royal Caribbean visits from the Caribbean? Would be Trinidad or Cartagena, actually. Cartagena. That's in Colombia. Steve, big shout out to Fox at MEI. Did my first booking, self-booking with MEI, and hit the jackpot. When Fox assigned me as my advisor, couldn't believe my good fortune. Fox is an amazing travel advisor. Listen, he learned everything he knew from Jen Green, right, Fox? But he's a great agent. They're all the travel agents at MEI are fantastic. But glad he had good service right there. Let me get a drink of water and move on to our next question. By the way, can I just say a big thank you to all our super chatters? If you guys don't have to do the super chat, it's not required, never asked for, but I just want to say a big thank you so much for your generosity. Truly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see here. Ron Ladowski, thank you for being a club member for 23 months. Since you don't want to do another jump in the pool, how about a Crown's Edge shot? That would be, I said, Tony, I love that idea. The issue is just you won't be able to get the instant gratification because you can't just, unless there's nobody on it, we can try. Let's put it that way. But I think it's a great idea. So yeah, I guess we have our idea. That would be, can't wait. She's the best. What would you recommend for a 6-year-old? I was told if I shared a drink with her from my package, I get deported. You won't get deported. You might get your package canceled. But you'd probably always take a taste or two and be done with it. I don't recommend a drink package for a 6-year-old. I think, quite frankly, number one, don't forget there are drinks that are included with your cruise fare. You know, water and some juices in the morning, chocolate milk, iced tea, well, coffee, but I don't think she cares about coffee. When it comes to 6-year-old, I'm going to say two things. One, they don't need a drink package. Two, even if you bought them a drink, you know, soda here and there, it's still going to be cheaper as long as you're not buying them more than 3 or 4 drinks per day. It's still cheaper than a drink package. And you're right; you shouldn't be sharing your drink package benefits with your child. But I don't think a 6-year-old needs a drink package. I mean, personally, we didn't allow when my kids were that age. We didn't allow our kids to have that many drinks. You know, certainly even at that age, they didn't want soda. It's more like, you know, I guess juice or like Shirley Temples. But you can have that. You know, order 1 or 2 a day. You're still coming out cheaper paying for it individually than you are with a drink package. So I would say, don't waste your money with a drink package. That's overkill for that, especially considering they don't drink that much. So buy them 1 or 2. They waste it. Whatever. Steve, loved your Silversea video and articles. Will there be a ship tour video? No, there will not be. It's not that interesting or enough. There's not enough interest for it. But I think you saw a lot of it within the videos. Will you go again? I really do want to go again. Yes. No, I want to try their expedition product to go to either the Galapagos or Antarctica, I suppose. But I would love to do another Silversea cruise and take my family with me on this one. I think it'd be very important to try that out if I can. Cowboy Valley, thank you for the super chat. BlackBerry Cars was fantastic. More money, but it's door to door and no luggage hassles. That is exactly how I would sum it up right there. It was great service, easy peasy. They took really good care of us. Lori says the trains out there have luggage racks at the end of each train car. There's no luggage storage problem. I disagree, Lori. I've taken the train 2 different cruises, and on both times that I've done it, Lori, there's nowhere. There's the overhead bins which are too small to put, you know, a normal size piece of luggage that you'd probably be bringing as an American coming over. Everybody, Lori, was simply shoving the luggage in the walkway when you walk on. Now, maybe there's a different car there, but I paid for, like, you know me, guys. I paid for the there's no first class, but I paid for like the nicer seats on that train. They're definitely the 2 times I did it, there were no luggage racks there. And people were just shoving luggage into the walkway, and it was chaos, quite frankly. But from what I understand, what I've been told by different Brits is that those trains are really meant as regional commuter trains, not tourist trains. That's why they don't have a huge luggage capacity, and that's the problem. Chris, thank you again for the super chat. If I have my phone, sunscreen, etc., in my bag at Hideaway Beach, is it safe to leave it near the pool, or should I use a locker instead? I always leave it by the pool for what it's worth. I mean, I do the same thing, man. When it comes to your valuables, number one, it's CocoCay. I think the risks, I'm not saying, don't be cavalier. There's always risk. Somebody could steal it. I think the risks are lower at CocoCay than they are in St. Cozumel. But when it comes to your personal belongings at the beach, don't leave it out in the open. Don't when you walk away, don't just leave your phone, sitting right there. Put it in a bag, put a towel over it. Don't leave it in plain view. You can put your bag underneath your chair. Just don't make it so easy and obvious that there's a valuable object sitting right there that it would really matter. And nobody cares about your sunscreen. I guarantee no one's stealing it. It's really just your phone, maybe. But even then, for what it's worth, I do it. I also keep it within visual distance, that I can see if anyone's over there. So that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Next question is from... I said mustard drill. Did I say mustard? Man, I am kind of hungry. I've not had dinner yet, but I would like some mustard. I would like some mustard. I would not like to muster. I'm going to be clear on that. Kelly Scalar from MEI Travel is here. Hello, Kelly. Roll Tide in the house. Ronnie coming with another super chat. Since Royal Caribbean does loyalty match with Silversea and Celebrity, have you done a video on the differences in each of their tiers? I have not. I feel like it's like, I appreciate the suggestion, so I'm not poo-pooing it. I feel like that's more of a PDF than a video. But I could actually, wait a minute, actually, maybe I talk about the best benefits across each. You know what, Ronnie? I poo-pooed your idea, then I like your idea. Differences in each of the tiers across X, Silversea. Yeah. Best benefits of each differences. All right, cool. I like it, Ronnie. Thank you, man. That's a good one. Snugglebug, I know you asked this question before, so let me get to it. I have a question for the time zone change. Mexico changes in the last Sunday of October, and I'll be in a port in Mexico that day. Will the ship and port be different times? The answer is, it depends. It's up to your captain. Depending on the captain, literally, this is the answer. You may or may not change time zones. Sometimes they'll say, we're going to stay on ship time, which means if it's, 9 a.m. their local time, it'll be 10 a.m. for you, or however the math works on that. It depends. And sometimes they'll say, no, we're gonna change times. It seems like recently, in my experience, ships are usually changing times. Like one night of the cruise, the clocks go back or go forward. But the answer is it depends on your captain. Brittany B, thank you for the super chat. Just booked 8 nights on Legend of the Seas. We're visiting Cabo Rojo. Seems like a really fun port. Have you visited yet? I have not been to Cabo Rojo yet. I've not been there. It's kind of a relatively new port, Brittany. I think you know that, but I've not been there yet to share anything right there. Crazy idea on board. You and Super Mario singing karaoke duo. I got you, babe. It's a no. I mean, first of all, I don't know if Super Mario wants. I'm not going to loop him into that. Cruiseaholics, thank you for the super chat. Do you mean that's not, I don't know what Cash App is, but I don't know what you mean by that's on Cash App. When the money that you do, the super chats are all YouTube takes a cut of the money. It's like 30%, I believe. But I don't know what you mean. If that's what you mean, or do you mean something differently? I'm not sure. But thank you, Cruiseaholics, nonetheless. David Christie, thank you for the super chat. Going on our first European cruise next year out of Barcelona, visiting French and Italian ports. Just how significant is the language barrier for English-only speaking visitors? It's not. Now, I've not been to Italy, to be fair. But in France and other countries, it's not. I did a video about this, David. I think you may have watched it like last week about what Americans get wrong about cruising in Europe. And one of them, number one, when you're visiting tourist spots, which your cruise ship is doing, they're going to speak English. Most people in almost anywhere you're going to go are going to speak English because 2 reasons. One, Europeans generally speak English a lot. And number 2, you're in a tourist area, so they know this. So for those reasons, they'll probably speak English. However, in that video I mentioned that I did, I talked about when you're in these places, I always start off with a greeting in the local language. Bonjour. If you want to extend it, bonjour, comment ça va? How are you? And you may, even though I probably know they speak English, I'll say, parlez-vous anglais, and then break into the English. Or even, in other countries, when I was in, Denmark or Norway, well, in Denmark and Norway, saying hello is hey, hey. But anyway, you start off with at least the greeting, and then you break into the English. Little things like that. But I don't think in France and Italy you'll have any problem at all. Because again, like everybody speaks English there to begin with, and you're in tourist areas. So the level, the proficiency of English it's amazing, David, in all these countries, how many people speak as a second language or more English, and they speak it extremely well. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Jack Reynolds, thank you for the super chat. 74 days back to back. What's Labadee likely? Where is Labadee likely rerouted? In the past, they've rerouted them to places like Nassau or Falmouth or somewhere in the Dominican Republic, like Cabo Rojo or somewhere like, or Sea Day. Tyrone, would you recommend booking a cruise through Priceline? I would not. Level of service is pretty abysmal, if you ask me. I would not recommend it at all. I'd recommend a travel agency that works with Royal Caribbean a lot and offers significantly better service to you as their customer. Steve, where's the best place to book a last-minute Royal Caribbean cruise? MEI Travel. I mean, with a travel agency. The prices are the same, Steve, whether you book through a travel agent or online. I mean, obviously, there could be group rates sometimes, but usually when you're talking about last-minute, group rates are kind of out of it. But anyway, I still book all my last minute cruises at MEI Travel. Actually, my favorite website is bookmeicruise.com because you can see all their group rates and things like that, even last minute ones. You never know. But yeah, same. The rules don't change. Joe Addison, thank you for the super chat. 130 days to Wonder, 172 to Liberty, 438 to Utopia, 471 to Legend. Walk or ride to get the Cocoa Beach Club and the day beds? I usually walk. It depends. Well, that's not true. I lied. The day beds, if you want the day bed, because there's very few of them, the answer is walk. And I say walk, I mean run. Joe, you got to be off that ship early. Like you got to be, if you're cleared at 7 a.m., you better be off the ship at 7 a.m. But I would run. I would walk. I would not take the thing right there. Jeffrey Hall, thank you for the super chat. Which special restaurants are open for lunch on boarding day at Icon going in November? The answer is you can find it yourself. Not that I'm here to tell you. You basically look at a past cruise compass to give you a list of this. This is why we have them. It's one of the things I love about this. So I'm going to put a link, Jeff, in the super chat in the chat, and you can look at past cruise compasses from Icon of the Seas, and then you'll know exactly which restaurants are open on embarkation day. It won't change for your sailing. It'll be the same ones. Edward, I was told the deluxe beverage package for the best discount is Black Friday. I think Black Friday, not Good Friday. Probably not Good Friday, but Black Friday. It can be. Oftentimes it is, but it's very hit or miss. And this is what I tell people all the time, Edward. Do not wait to book a drink package, in this case, for Black Friday, because there could be a better deal today or next month. Book it now, lock in the price, and then if there is a better price on Black Friday, cancel and rebook and take advantage of it. Matt, thanks for the super chat. With Aleppo scheduled to open in early 27, do you think Australians can expect a Royal Caribbean ship year-round rather than seasonally? I have no idea, and I think it would be I have no idea, number one. Number two, I think it'd be wrong of me to give you any kind of false hope because I don't know. I feel like with things like that, something so significant to change to an all-year or year-round product, that's a big change. I think it makes a lot of sense considering they are doing that. I mean, this it's certainly logical, but I don't have any information. So maybe. G-Dub, thank you for the super chat. Best transportation from Seward to airport in Anchorage. I believe the train is what a lot of people do. Isn't there a train option that goes between the two? I believe that's what most people end up doing right there. Ronnie, thank you again for the super chat. Oh my God, Ronnie, you actually got the super chat and the message together. Thank you, Ronnie. Kelly is the #1 travel agent, and you are the #1 cruise blogger. Bless mon coeur. Thank you, Ronnie. You are too kind, too generous, too lovely. Natalie, thank you for the super chat. How can you figure out what day is formal night going on a 9-day cruise on Oasis? Good question. I'm going to give you a link to an article, but the answer is in the Royal Caribbean app. It's pretty easy. They spell it out there for you. But basically, the way to figure it out is when you get close to the start of your cruise, within a week or two, you'll be able to see it in the Royal Caribbean app. So let me get you copy. I'm going to post it in the chat, Natalie, with the link on how to figure out when it's formal night or any theme night for that matter. And it just explains it better because I don't want to rattle off something. You're like, what did Nat say? The article has that for you. Debbie says, MEI is awesome. Save me lots of money and great service. Love that. Fantastic. Steve F. Steve, thanks for the super chat. What do you think of the Silversea fare discount available through Loyalty Match? So to be fair, Steve, I think you know, I didn't actually pay for my Silversea cruise I went on. Silversea invited me to go on there. That is significant. It could, that's a really interesting perk. And I didn't talk about it in the video, but that could be, I mean, considering that, if you're talking about an $10,000 fare, 10%, that's not an insignificant chunk of change. So I love that idea. And whenever I try my next Silversea cruise that I'll actually pay for, I think that would be a fantastic discount. So I love that. It's a really good point, Steve. I hadn't thought about that one. Captain Bob, thank you again for the super chat. Please say hi to wife Barbie. She made finally alive. Barb, how are you? So glad you made it. Thanks for putting up with Captain Bob for us. Thank you for that shirt, by the way. Andre, thank you for the super chat. My next cruise, Voyager of the Seas, Mediterranean in August. My first cruise. Your videos helped a lot. Thanks. Especially dining package, worth it. First of all, Thank you for your generosity. I'm so glad to hear the video has helped you. And is a specialty dining package worth it? It can be. I mean, here's the thing, though. You're going in the Med, so you're going to have a lot of ports, and you're eating a lot of food, and you're going to be important for a long time. In the Caribbean, I would say, yeah, sure, absolutely. I do love the dining packages. They do save you money. From that perspective, they're worth it. The issue for you is because you're in the Mediterranean, you're going to be so port intensive, and you're going to be eating amazing food on shore. I'd be worried that you would be how likely you are, or interested you are, I should say, in a full sit-down meal back on the ship that evening. Now, granted, you could say, well, I'll just book all my dinners for 8 o'clock at night. Give me plenty of time to get back. That's a fair point. And from that perspective, yeah. But something to think about. You might say, well, you'll be tired and not want to, get dressed and all this, and maybe just the windjammer is good enough. But from a money-saving perspective, yes, it's worth it. But I think you need to have an honest conversation with yourself about the logistics of, if you're on a 8-hour shore excursion, you get back to the ship, do you want to now shower, change, and go out to dinner? Maybe not. Ed Vire, what's up, Ed? Thank you for the 22 months, man. Being a club member. If you sign up for a cruise at Next Cruise on board, you get onboard credit promotion on the cruise you're currently on or the new one you're choosing. I believe you have the choice. I always, Ed, like 100%, not even 99, 100% of the time, I take the onboard credit on the sailing I booked. Because I already paid for this cruise I'm on. I'm not that hard pressed for it. I'd rather save it for that sailing. So yeah, that's how I do it. Thank you, Ed. Jay Osteen. Jay, thank you for the super chat. Matt, I dug around and found that Royal Caribbean leaves Terminal AA in Miami while G is under construction. Oh, yes, from last week. Does that seem right? It could be. Didn't we talk about this last week? And then somebody else in the chat was like, oh, when they use Terminal G's out, they use a different one that I don't recall. It was towards the end of the chat. And I believe I called it out in the video if you want to watch the replay. But listen, at the end of the day, man, it could be right. Anything's possible. But I don't know that for a fact. Tropical Ken will be on alert in November. Is the pier in San Juan now taking away its class ships? Yes, it is. It's open again. Cool. And Captain Bob coming in with another super chat. Please talk my wife into going on more cruises. Oh, man. I mean, I'm not very good at convincing my wife on it. But hey, Barb, you should book more cruises. Because you know what? You deserve them. You need to be out there. You need to enjoy and get out and escape all this, I don't know actually where you guys live, but just get out there and enjoy time and there's, enjoy the virtues of cruising. It's just, isn't it so nice being on a cruise? Somebody else taking care of you, somebody else feeding you, somebody else cleaning up after you. Doing that more often, that's what we love to see. All right, guys. We are running out of time here, and I've got my public sub waiting for me. Tell my wife we need more cruises. KJ's wife, wouldn't it be great to get out there, have someone else take care of you, clean up after you, provide food for you? There you go. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of you all. We had amazing support today from all of you in the chat. Incredible, quite frankly. Really, really nice. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Tell my husband we need more cruises. You can tell Mark that yourself, Teresa. I am not. I've already tried that once. Can't get a pub sub in Europe. This is true, Kenny. This is why I'm wrapping it up here. We're 58 minutes, 59 minutes. Samantha's got to go to bed soon. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for all your generosity. We'll be back next Monday. I will still be here next Monday, like here in the studio. Hooray! But be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And, of course, we'll have some more videos for you this week. Until then, have a wonderful week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. I forgot where I was. Good night, everybody. Good night, Samantha.